Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild. We are back on the moon. I had to fly here to do some work. Today we will have to do a bit of a housekeeping episode again, because the one thing I wanted to do today is not possible. The autopilot mod isn't updated yet, so the autopilot doesn't work with the newest version of the game, but other things started to work again, or hopefully start to work without flaws. The portals, for example, they should be updated so the ships don't vanish. That was the big thing that I had with it. And other stuff happened too. We have the new build mechanics, so we can scroll through the different blocks now. That's a nice thing. And we have these nice changes. On top there you can read, press R to change block size. I saw some people that struggled with that. It's weird, but it seems that a lot of people can't get away from the old ways how stuff works. And when you're presented with the new way, then it seems reading doesn't help then. Maybe Keen did something there that was too sudden. I don't know. Because again, what they do is they present you with that. I don't know how to build stations. That's my problem. It seems that stationary things are not available anymore because this whole voxel support option vanished out of the options menu and the advanced options. I took a look at that to specifically prevent stuff from happening to my stations or something like that. I didn't want to have that happen, that stationary things just break loose and fly away, but it seems that is not happening. Maybe there was problems with it and they removed this voxel support stuff, or they changed it up. So what we can do now is really put blocks and all that stuff just in space, and we can take every block and start a new ship. That's a neat thing. So we don't have to pick up in the G menu. We can take a look at that too. We don't have to pick up the landing gears, and we don't have the option to specifically build ships anymore, it seems. But again, some of the things don't work at the moment, so we will have to get around that. By the way, here's the same thing. So you have small blocks, you have big blocks. Just change it with R, and then that should work. So let us go and see what I've done. I've removed some stuff from here. I've removed the energy transfer modules that I had here and replaced basically the old mod with the new version of it. There was a problem with it because the old blocks were in game and the game just said everything's corrupt because there are still blocks. I don't know. No. I changed that out so we can work with the new mod version. So one of the next things I discovered is the game screws me over a bit, and we will take a look at some of the things why I say that. I still have my solar satellite up there. We will go and fly there just for a sec. At the moment, this thing doesn't work because let me go there. I removed the whole energy transmitting stuff from here too, but we have a different problem with it. You can see that these are not pointed at the sun, and that is due to the problem that the thrusters are completely missing. They are gone, and I don't know where they went. It seems they might have just flown off into space, took off, landing gears failed. I don't know. but there the game screwed me a bit again, and I don't have the Duchessa here or something like that to repair that. So this thing will be at the moment out of commission, and we will work with something else for now. And maybe when the autopilot is back, or when I have brought the Duchessa over, we can repair that, or I will do that in the off time. Just repair that, have that going again, try out the new version of the whole power transmitting mod. So that's a thing. But again, the solar satellite is broken, and I knew that I had thrusters on there, as far as I know. After rebuilding them, I think I had thrusters on there. So I hope at least. I will have to watch the video again before I really go off on a rant about that. But sometimes this game really screws me over when it gets updated. I have another example of that. Yeah, I repaired. No, there was nothing to repair, but I had something that happened with the update that I was not prepared for. Give me a sec to go to the planet, because we have to go there, and it's good. The portal is completely functional again, so we can. It was functional in the last version too, but I'm not fearing to use it at the moment, so we will see. Maybe everything vanishes and gets destroyed because of the portals, but I hope that's not the case. Let me go over there. It takes a real good amount of time until these planets are loaded, so I will have to make cuts even when I'm using the portals. It seemed to have gotten a bit worse, and you might see the big change that has happened here. Trees. I never ordered fauna in my game settings, but now I suddenly have fauna, and you can see that I have some holes in the landscape here. The holes are there because I had to remove trees. I had trees just growing in my station or through my station, and I needed to remove them to not have trees in my station. I'm okay with the trees. I think they look nice now, and I hope they don't bring down my FPS too much. I also have I had grass all the time, but you can see sometimes I don't know what's up with it. The trees go wonky sometimes when they load in, and that's kind of why I wanted to just not have trees. They can be problematic, I think, and sometimes it looks weird when they load in, and so I wanted to stay away from them. But now the game decided that it is time for me to have trees. Grass looks nice. Is that one of the new updates? Maybe some people can tell me. There is, in the update log, there is something about movement for fauna too. What the? And some new animations. So I don't know if that's the complete case, that is all integrated, and what that means for the game. The trees, yeah, we will have to live with them now. I know at least that I can just remove them by digging out the ground under them. Okay, I can take the trees. And now we have this tree in the middle of the base. I left that there because it looked nice to have a tree there, but trees growing through my floor, that was nothing I really wanted. I have replaced the corner here. That was one of the things I couldn't do because there was problems with these blocks. But now it looks good, and we can live with it. I can use them now a lot more. So we can also go back to the base here and work with the base a bit more. Maybe make a building on here and put the antennas somewhere else, and then have a bit more of a living quarter here and all that stuff. But the main thing we wanted to do was go out, use the big ship to go to Mars and establish some communication satellites on our way there. And the satellites, we still can build them, and I still want to do that, even if the autopilot mod is still not updated in the next week. We will go build the satellites in a way where they will work, and in a way where we can just later activate the movement feature of the autopilot mod, so that the solar panels turn into the sun, and still have that just later. Good. For now, again, this is all that happened for me during the update. I don't know. Maybe you have some things that you noticed. That is loud. I should turn down my volume on the on my speakers here a bit. So the you can see that it took long before until everything loaded in. I think it is a bit worse now for the planet. For the moon it is okay because there's no vegetation or something like that here. But what I want to do now is take the rabbit back to the mobile home, and then just take a look at the solar satellite, see if we can do something about it for now, and maybe then end the episode, just because again I can't do much for now. This whole thing just broke the plan I had for today. So we will start with the ship in the next week. Hopefully the autopilot is back then, and we can start to make a communications array on our way. One thing I also want to do, maybe we can do that, go to the Duchessa at the asteroids and build a communications array there too. I think that's one thing we will do today, just for the end of the episode. Build a fast array to have a bit of a way to communicate with the ship in the long run without needing the Duchessa at the asteroid GPS point. I think that's a good idea. Another thing I found, and that is, I think, a known bug. Some people, I think, on Reddit talked about that too. Two things. One thing. See that? It's getting harder for me to target the block I want to weld. If I hold it here, I can't weld this. This is not welding at the moment. And I don't know why. So you have to be very specific where you weld, it seems. And the next thing is, the welders are broken. The welders, the grinders, and I think the drills too, because they all have the same speed. I have the top tier welders and grinders, and I also have a top tier drill, but I can't even have the top tier drill activated at the moment. So this doesn't work. I had to get a normal drill to be able to drill these trees out. And yeah, the welder is slow. I'm trying to weld this beacon here up. as it needs small steel tubes, large radio computers. And it takes a while just to weld a bit. I tried to work with grinders on the solar satellite, and I worked with the welders there and all that stuff, and it doesn't work too well. So something is broken in the stable version there that I don't really like, because the stable version should be a stable version. It's not. So just to let you know that there could be problems with it. Don't know how that's in the dev version. People will have to tell me, because again, I don't play the dev version. I have the top tier welder, and I have the welding speed set to max. It takes ages. Okay, now the nanites can take over. I hope they are still faster than everything else. I want to build this thing anchored to an asteroid, because I don't know if the whole voxel support thing works or doesn't work or whatsoever. So I will from now on anchor these things to asteroids. And if I build one in free space, I might want to add a gyroscope and some thrusters, just to be sure that this thing stays stable where it is. We will see if that works. Apparently for some things it doesn't really work. You can, my thrusters on my solar set, I think again it was there, so now they are gone. Why are you not doing something? What is missing? Okay, I had to produce them by hand. Maybe there's a problem with the nanite, the assemblers not working for the nanite factories. We'll have to see. That's not a big problem. Let me build that here to get an idea how I want to have the... Or maybe I have to activate that in the nanite factory. How I want to have them built in the future or so. Use the assemblers. That should work. Good. Let me work a bit more. There's still problems with the search mode. Also, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So if I want to search for nanites, it works with the first two letters. The third one doesn't work. It's this game. Always a blast to see what happens when you work on that. Okay, the inventory. Let us see if it works for the assemblers. Ooh. At least it accepts the third letter. So that's a good thing. we will see how that continues. It's funny how the nanites can spoil you, because after welding up 2 of these things and now welding the third nanite repair beacon, I'm getting a bit frustrated. And if I hadn't have the nanites, I would have by now, because my day is a bit today, and I would have just rage quit about the fact that the welders don't work the way they should be. They work the whole time. So why do I have slow welders again? That's crazy. Do I need new ones? Let us test that out. If new ones help, maybe I can just get a new one. Nah, a new one didn't fix the problem, and now the nanites are helping. That's the only thing. But so a new one wasn't my fix for that. We will have to continue with that. Hope that a hotfix will come out today or tomorrow or whatsoever, and we will get a stable version that is are not filled with bugs? Why do we have the differentiation between a stable version and a dev version when the stable version takes a lot of new bugs? It always hurts me to criticize something on the game because I don't normally want to do that. It's not an indie game anymore, but it's an early access game. They still bring new features and all that stuff, but sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I have the feeling this shouldn't happen, not for a stable version at least. Good. Construction. Solar cells and construction materials. Maybe I have to put them in by hand again. What is with these assemblers? These assemblers produce... they still produce thruster components. I don't need thruster components. Okay, I want to add some batteries to that too. Maybe close to the bottom so these can spin freely, and then see, we want to bring this antenna to the maximum range, and hopefully we get with the batteries at least a few hours of battery life so that we can leave that alone on its own. Okay, current input 0.0 watts. Now it needs to get up the solar panels so they put in enough energy for the antenna to work. I will do a bit more work and come back to you then, but then I will end the episode. I'm recording for too long now, and it's one of these days where frustration takes me over. So this is not the final design, but I want to work with something similar to that. I think always have some fixed solar panels to have at least a bit of power input, even when this thing kind of doesn't work. And I might think about something like making it cross-shaped, maybe a few blocks apart, so that there's not too much shadow on each other's solar panel, and we can keep it in a way that when the sun turns around the whole satellite, it has always a bit of solar panel at least in the sun, even if this system doesn't work. So this system is prepared, so we just need to activate the solar panels on top to always turn into the sun, and then that should work out. These batteries, I will wait for them for these top three. I think about having 6 on every satellite, just to be sure. I think I don't need that because it's just a bit of power that the antenna takes. With the help of the solar panels, it should always be stable. But what I want to do is have them switch out. Top 3 here are set to charge at the moment. These down here are set to discharge. What I want to do is when the top 3 are charged and the bottom 3 are discharged completely, I want to set them then to be semi-automatic, so that the top 3 always when the top 3 work and discharge, the bottom 3 charge, and then they should switch at the end, so that I always have 3 batteries charging, 3 batteries discharging. I don't know if that works that way, but we will test it out. I don't have a battery script in here or something like that. I could search for something like that so that batteries always work in a similar way, and we could integrate that for our communication satellites. this should work out. Hopefully, we will see. Don't know. It's worth a test. Good people, I think that's all for today. This episode is running for too long for now, and yeah. Next week we will start our adventure to Mars, hopefully with the solar panels active and hopefully with the autopilot mod back on track, because we can't work with drones, we can't work with everything without that. So but we will start our trip anyways, I would say. Good people, I hope you liked the episode, and I hope I could inform you about some of the stuff that the update brought with it, and I hope to see you next week. See ya, guys.